So, speaking of entertaining...
Good morning, Vietnam!
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I feel the need for speed.
Roads? When we're going, we don't need roads. Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
I'm Spartacus!
I'm Batman. I am the father.
I was virtually attending the London Film Festival, which was very interesting. Lots of stuff there. As usual, it was about 95% misery porn, but there was a couple of very interesting films there as well. But I think rather than cluttering our Bond discussion.
But I just to mention this quickly, what is that about film festivals? I mean, I've been developing this film festival since inception, and we got to that stage we started focusing on more comedies because we're like, what is for everybody obsessed with sending in things that are miserable and depressing?
They're cheaper to make. They've got no effects. It's usually a very personal story, so therefore people are more committed to them. It's a lot of first-time filmmakers, and it's stuff that haven't got distribution mainly, so they're actually trying to sell the films at the same time.
And I always...
It's definitely an indie thing.
I just always feel like festivals feel like they have to produce something that's like
meaningful,
worthy or a motive. So I feel like those type of stories lend that better than maybe a sort of out-and-out comedy, because I've seen low-budget comedies that have been funny and have been good, but I feel like festivals in particular feel this need to create worthy and inverted, in speech quotes, content.
You're right. It's almost like people like a film must say something. Doesn't really need to. Sometimes it can just be entertaining.
I think I probably will need to get some beard oil or something at some point, like I say, because it just kind of goes all over, and I'm in danger of it turning up at the sides here as well, which may or may not be a good look.
That may just end Mary if you turn up.
I know.
We have villain twirling moustache.
I was going to volunteer to book our Christmas night out or drinks or lunch or whatever, but if John's going to turn up looking that attractive, I don't think I can actually attend.
Yeah, I've got that on record now. We're recording, so somebody thinks I'm attractive. Oh man!
If you do, you need to turn up in like a waistcoat, tails, a top hat, a cane, and a moustache. Just a usual Tuesday afternoon for yourself.
I was going to say, the butler will have that all pressed for him anyway, so...
They're taking notes as we speak. They're always listening to my conversations. So did you get your plumber sorted, Thomas?
He's still in. He's still kind of kicking about.
Is he attaching your radiator, or is that something else he's doing?
Yeah, he's put the radiators
on.
Good. One of the radiators got a big massive crack in it, and the other radiator's all bashed to fuck. It's because they just basically fruit about in the van looks here, so Jen's sorting all that stuff out.
No, we need to get one taken off the wall because I'm decorating the hall. And I need to get in behind it, and I'm in two minds just to try and just leave it as much as possible, but I really should. But I mean, I don't think it takes much to take it off the wall and put it back on again, but knowing my luck, it would be a complete disaster. You know?
Well, that's what happened to us when we took one of the radiators off the wall. It was a small one as well, thinking that'll be easy. YouTube video seems a piece of piss. Because the valves are so old, when it came off, it just snapped.
I mean, this is just so manly, you guys talking about this, and now I have this image of John in my head with his beard, with maybe like a tight t-shirt on, maybe some jeans, like doing manly stuff with a wrench, and I don't know
no trousers, just in case they get wet, you know.
I don't know if I do.
I feel like I see like John's sitting there with his tight t-shirt, his jeans, have you brandy watching the butler.
Yeah.
Take it off the wall. Whipping him.
Faster, Jeeves, faster.
Whoa.
I know.
Oh, yeah, actually, maybe that could be something else.
I was making my coffee the other day and I realised the milk froth was broken. I was furious.
What even is that? What is that? Is that a piece of...
literally just came like, it's like a jug, but it froths milk for you, so it makes it like, it can make like lattes and cappuccinos and things like that.
That's a proper...
You can get the wee whisker things in IKEA, can't you? You get the wee whisker. That's what we've got. We've got one of those wee things, and it costs £1 or something. So no need for a jug. A jug.
I mean, this was a tenner. Reality, I think it was. You know, don't be wrong. It's like I was expecting after like 5 months it stopped working. But
in fairness, I did buy Chris a proper like coffee pod machine and stuff like that. So that's probably quite knobby as well.
You do realise if you keep this stuff in the podcast, we're all going to get cancelled. You know, it's like people are going to be commenting on like iTunes and stuff saying there's like pandemics and volcanoes killing people and you're talking about milk frothers. Well, yeah, because I don't live
Because we
in a single
can, yeah,
parent.
that's the way of it,
Okay.
isn't it?
Because in my little bubble, that's what's important to me this week.
Well, exactly. You have to look after your own well-being, and if that means that you need frothy coffee or you need a toilet that works, then so be it.
Whoever gets you through the week.
I mean, I was more upset about the milk frother than I was the fucking radiator. So
Oh dear.
I could put a hoodie on. I could put a blanket over me. I'm watching TV, but I'm supposed to for the milk.
Yeah.
Froth the milk.
If you're sitting there with
shit.
flat white, then you're just this is no use.
You will not see me in a good mood for the rest of the day.
I was going to say, can you froth your own milk? But I suppose that the whole point of the jug is that it does it for you, so it would require manual labour on your behalf if the jug's broken.
I need to pour milk into the jug.
All right, okay.
That should be my manual labour.
No, I meant could you get a fork and whisk it and make it frothy or something? Is that?
I would need to be like the Flash probably to
Right,
get enough
fair
speed
enough.
up.
Okay, fair enough.
No, Superman actually, because I think you'd have laser eyes to heat the milk up as I was froth.
Oh dear, I just keep thinking of that laser baby from The Boys, because we were talking about how potentially the COVID vaccine could mutate children, which is not funny. But I was just thinking, imagine though you had your COVID vaccine, you were pregnant, you had your baby, but what you got was a laser baby. I'd be well chuffed with that.
Yeah, see if we're talking about these kind of mutations, we're talking X-Men.
Mm-hmm. I'm okay with this.
I know you get the Morlocks and the X-Men and Beast and things like that. Not everybody gets a good a good card dealt them.
Mm-hmm.
But see if you look Wolverine or Gambit,
I couldn't hear too many men complaining if they all became love sausage either.
Yep. And that just got very dark very quickly.
Although I just realised something. This will tie into Bond later.
Okay.
I just realised they've ripped off the X-Men. We'll discuss that.
Okay.
I don't think it's been deliberate, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was influenced by the X-Men. That's all I'll say.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
I didn't see Dune the other night because the plumber was out and I had to miss my screening, which was quite annoying.
Same, I've been loaded with a cold since Sunday. It's only really today that I'm actually feeling a bit better, so I was due to go on Monday as well. But I saw it last week, so
yeah.
This press screening, it's fantastic. I really, really liked it. I thought it was a brilliant movie.
I'm excited for it.
See, I'm just, I don't know, I'm not a big fan of these kind of somber sci-fi epics type of thing, but I do want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I did see Venom though last Friday.
I really want to see that.
Not seen that yet, but it's been getting fairly mixed reviews, hasn't it?
It's getting better reviews than the first one, but it is still fairly mixed. It's the only thing I would say. It seems very short.
Mm-hmm. Is it 90 minutes or less?
Yeah, which isn't bad. Shouldn't be bad for a film, but it's for a superhero film like that. You're like, oh, it's done. What type of thing?
Yeah, that's not a lot of time considering that they usually do a wee bit of scene set and a wee bit of projection, whatever, forward planning for the next film or whatever. That does seem quite short, but I just think that it gets such a bad, sort of universally bad reviews last time that I think they were too committed and too far into it to not do a second one. But I think they've maybe gone, let's just make it short and hope people don't hate it.
Well, not just that. Well, the first one's not that long either. But see, if you watch it or look at the DVD, it says like 2 hours, 10 minutes, but it's really not. It's because after the credits, you get a 10-minute preview for in the Spider-Verse. Mm-hmm. That really is. It's only an hour 40, an hour 45. The first one. It's not a long film, but it did make a lot of money. I'm sure the first one. I'm sure it was very successful. And this one, I think it's really funny. I think they get
I'm
the humor.
excited.
Bang on.
I want to see it.
There's one wee bit I can I mention. It's not a spoiler to the plot or anything, but they're going to visit. Is it Cletus? Mm-hmm. In jail, and Venom's just talking to Eddie, just saying, "I want to eat this guy, I want to eat that guy." But you can't eat anybody. But maybe these people, can we eat them? And he goes, "We can't eat them. We don't know if they're guilty or innocent." He goes, "They're in prison." There's a timing. The comic timing in this one is really good. It's really, really good.
Oh, I'm excited. Although I did see someone tweet saying they thought Walton Goggins would have been a good Cletus, and I can't disagree with that. But I'm excited to see this as it is.
A good show. Woody Harrelson is excellent.
He does crazy really well, I think. So yeah. That'll be good.
And Naomi Harris is good as well. It's a very good cast. Even Stephen Graham's accent, not so much.
Oh no! What's he meant to be in it?
What's it say again? Is it New York? San Fran? I can't remember where it's meant to be set. I mean, well, It's supposed to be New York in terms of like Spider-Man and
Yeah,
things like
yeah,
that for the comics, but I can't remember if it is set in New York, the films or not.
The first one was San Francisco, wasn't it?
It's definitely San Francisco. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was San Francisco.
And so his accent is not.
I don't know what his accent is,
Oh.
but
Oh,
you just
what was
get.
a good sign if you can't actually locate where someone's from?
But you're watching it, you're thinking to yourself, right, I know Stephen Graham's a fucking phenomenal actor, so I'm willing to let this accent slide. There's probably a lot of people, this is their first exposure to Stephen Graham.
Oh,
He's not bad in the film, it's not that, it's just his accent's quite bad.
that's a shame. However, I'll
Whereas
still go
with-
and see it.
Oh yeah, Woody Harrelson just hams it up brilliantly. He's a great comic villain.
Well, I'm excited. I mean, Chris is like totally because he just hated the first one, but I'm determined we're going to see this one because I just think it looks absolutely batshit. So I want to go and see it.
I watched the first one the other week. It's not that bad. It's just a bit.
I think,
plain.
I think he wanted something that was a lot darker and a lot more violent. Like, I think this one's still a 12A and stuff like that. And I think that he was hoping for something that's maybe like super violent, 15, 18 type of thing. But I don't think you're going to get that because it's so closely linked to sort of Spider-Man and stuff like that. And they're still trying to capitalize on people that would go and see those type of movies. So you're never going to get that type of movie.
No, I mean, this one is a lot more. I do think this pushes the boat a lot more.
Okay, cool.
In terms
It's still a
of
12A
humor.
though, right? So it's not like a...
It's not like bloody gory or anything, but it's a lot more violent, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to tell you the London Film Festival.
Yeah, how'd it go?
It was good. It was
Apart from the misery porn, obviously.
It was a bit weird because none of the main films were on the online platform. It was all sort of smaller films, and it was about 30% documentaries as well, which was neither here nor there. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. But there was a cracking film called Hinterland, which is a film that's set in Austria in 1920. And it's about the prisoners of war coming back after the First World War to find that Vienna is completely different. And it's a kind of a murder mystery. One of the main guys that comes back is a detective.
Ooh.
And some of the soldiers around about him start getting bumped off, and he's sort of brought back in rather reluctantly on his part and the part of the authorities to find out who's doing the murdering. The thing about it is it's filmed like a German expressionist film of the 30s. It's all shadows and everything. And it's all done with CGI rather than locations. So all the backdrops are all highlighted and it's all grim and grey and brown and everything. But it's so well done. It's so stylized. It's a fantastic movie.
That sounds
really, really good.
So up my street on like 14 different levels. That sounds amazing. Do you think that'll get... I mean, it sounds quite artsy, so do you think that'll get cinematic release or do you think that'll go to a platform?
I'll probably go to a platform, I would imagine. But it just depends. Amazing. You never know with these things because some of the ones that you think would get released in cinemas just don't seem to make it. So, yeah, there's every chance. But yeah, that was the kind of the highlight for me. That was the best of them.
Was Padres Paralelas or Madres Paralelas even, was that at the film festival or was that...
I don't know. It wasn't one of the screeners.
It maybe just wasn't on the platform.
Yeah,
I don't think Tragedy Macbeth or anything was on the platform, was it?
No, there was nothing like that. But I managed to see a couple of the films. I saw The French Dispatch last week.
What did you think?
Which it's the most Wes Anderson film ever, which is a very good thing because I really
I was going to say, is that a compliment or not?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I love Wes Anderson films, and this is just like chef's kiss. It's just fantastic. Really, really enjoyed it. It's really funny.
That sounds amazing. I'm dying to see that as well.
So I googled Miss Moneypenny spin-off, and there is already novels, the Moneypenny Diaries, and there is talk of doing it with Neil Harris. And interestingly enough, there's talks of a whole slew of James Bond spin-offs because of the Amazon thing.
I was going to say, yeah. I mean, yeah, they'd be silly not to cash in on that, but I do just wonder how much of an audience there is for this thing. I do feel like Bond fans are quite passionate about Bond. And I don't really know that they're necessarily bought. They might go for a kind of villain thing, but I don't know that they're necessarily bought on to characters on the periphery. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, Marvel have kind of been able to do that, but they've introduced peripheral characters from the start. Let's face it.
Yeah.
With the Avengers and stuff like that, and built those up. Now, I think they'll test the waters with it. I don't think they'll commit to doing like a whole... They won't announce a whole Bond universe or anything.
No,
they'll announce one, maybe two at the most, and see how that goes. And if it doesn't work out, they can just quietly drop it.
Yeah.
Without being too embarrassed about the whole thing. But yeah, I think they'll anything to make money, because even though this film is now made, I think it's upwards of, it's around about $800 million it's made worldwide. The final cost of it is over 500 million because of the cost of the film and the fact that they've had to advertise it 3 or 4 different times, like re-advertise and re-advertise. So that's obviously, they reckon they've spent something like $150 million in advertising.
Easy.
Yeah.
Because they've had 4 different advertising campaigns. So, I mean, the thing is, you could easily see a Bond movie spending 50 million per launch. So the fact they've had to launch it essentially 4 times, I'm not surprised the figures are like that. It's one of the biggest franchises in the world, really, isn't it? One of the most sort of known characters as well. One of the things, actually, somebody said they would want John Hamm to play Bond, but I don't know how, like, do you know how James Bond has sort of been claimed by kind of like British lads, shall we say? I don't know how people would feel about an American. Now, obviously, Lazenby wasn't British, but Bond tends to be a sort of, I don't see an American doing it, if I'm being honest.
No. No, he can't be black. He has to have black hair. He can't have blonde. It has to be this. Has to be that Bond. But
too old anyway.
I can't.
He's too old. Yeah, yes.
I can't think of any non-British actor off the top of my head anyway that would pull it off. I don't know. Just there's a certain suaveness that comes with that English gentleman type thing. And I know Sean Connery's Scottish, obviously, but you know what I mean. He still pulls, and James Bond is Scottish.
Yeah.
But even though he's definitely not Scottish suave, James Bond. He's very London suave.
What do you mean by Scott? How do you differentiate the two? I'm just intrigued to know.
I think he's very London Bond, although he's could be Scottish. He comes across very London to me. Very Kingsman type idea. I know Kingsman's a prestige Bond, but it's very much that gentlemanly type thing that it's not associated with being Scottish or Scottish culture.
No, because if he was from Glasgow, he'd be a pattern merchant. Is that what you mean?
He's not really distinguished gentleman type idea. Like if Sean Connery's Bond grew up in Glasgow and became Bond at MI5 in Glasgow type idea, it would be the same Bond, but he's very much London Bond.
Yeah, okay, I get. Well, because he's like well travelled, isn't he? So there's this whole sort of idea of like cultured and has visited lots of places and stuff. So I get what you mean. I just wasn't sure what you meant by sort of Scottish suave there. I was just intrigued. You mean Jerry Butler's not suave?
No, he's not.
Don't say that too loudly. Don't say that too loudly in case Jerry Butler becomes a new Bond.
Yeah. Oh, he's too old. He's far too old. He's well into his 40s, is he not?
I think he must be in his 50s by now.
Yeah, easily. He's too old. I predict they'll go for someone in their early 30s so that even if they get a 15-year run out of them, it won't look too ridiculous. So
yeah, I think so. I'm trying to think outside the box with it though, and I'm just kind of hitting a blank.
Imagine they just put in someone like Will Poulter or something, someone like totally left field.
I don't think if you look back at the previous speculation for previous Bonds, and they've always gone with the most obvious ones, and it's never.
I was going to say, Bond has, Dalton was not an obvious Bond. Brosnan was first choice, but wasn't available at the time, and obviously Craig was totally out of nowhere because at the time of Craig, obviously they were touting Idris Elba sort of at that time, so they do go quite left field for their choices, in which I think just kind of adds to it because. Yes, he's supposed to be sort of attractive and good looking and stuff like that, but he is also supposed to be someone you'd walk past in the street because they're a spy. It's not supposed to be like,
Yeah, but he keeps telling about his name. Worst spy ever.
The world's worst kept secret. I did quite like that wee moment as well when he went up to that desk and he was like name and he was like Bond, and then the guy was like full name. He was like,
I like that.
James
I like
Bond.
I like TV kind of jokes.
Yeah.
And he did order a martini, shaken not stirred in this film, whereas obviously in Casino Royale he says, don't give a damn. Aye.
Oh no, that's right. He didn't swear. Actually, that's right.
But it was in the script. Apparently, it was initially in that because when you read the script, that's what it said. They look as if I give a fuck. Because that was one of the reasons why he said, "I like this Bond. I like the idea of that." But obviously, they couldn't get away with that. But aye.
I still think Le Chiffre is definitely the best film that we've seen out of the sort of Craig era as well. I know that Javier Bardem was like really camp and stuff, but I loved him as well. But I'm surprised at who I've been disappointed by and who I've been sort of like, oh, that's actually really good. So,
yeah.
Cool. So, shall we plan? I mean, I know you guys are going to do Halloween, right? Because I'm just never going to. After the last one that I saw at the cinema, which was so fucking garbage, like I don't think I'm going to go and see this new one.
Well, Thomas has forced me to reassess Halloween, not by any pressure or anything, but I'm going to watch it.
Oh, you're watching it? Oh, I thought you meant
I'm
you'd
going to
seen
watch it
and didn't
again.
like it. Right, okay.
I did. I watched it, didn't like it. I watched it
Okay.
last week and I thought it was a terrible disappointment because I'd liked the previous one so much. But I'm watching it again because I don't know if I just got my opinion wrong or I wasn't really into it because you said you loved it. And I was like, am I that far away from that? You know, it's not good. But I'll watch it again. Because supposedly any film that you really want to see, you should watch twice. The first time you watch it to disavow yourself of any preconceptions, and the second time to actually enjoy the film. So
Okay, that makes sense.
obviously
I
our
hated that last
preconceptions
one.
of this been good. No, I really enjoyed it. So we'll see how it goes. But yes, I'll watch it again before we. I watched about half of it earlier, so I'm going to watch it later on.
Going to settle this for me, right? Because I really struggle because it's like Carl when you're Scottish, right? I can't say
pronounce
this.
it either.
How do you say? Is it Dune or June?
I think it's Dune, but I can't say it.
I say June.
I say June.
June. As in to rhyme with, as in to sound exactly the same as the month, rather.
Yeah.
And not like.
That's pretty much. But I think that's a Scottish thing more than anything else.
Yeah.
It's not Dune.
Yeah, because I've been walking about being like, oh, I'm really looking forward to Dune, and I just think I can't say it properly. So I just wondered how you guys were pronouncing it, because if we're going to pod on it, like I want to see it right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'll make sure I'll just skip. I won't say the title.
Yeah.
In this film, yeah.
It's definitely one to see on the big screen. That's the only thing I'll say.
Yeah.
It
There's
really
good to
is.
get that from it.
Yeah, aye.
Is it got a long run time? Is it about 3 hours as well? Did I read? No?
It's 2.5.
Oh, well, near enough.
And
I
apparently
kind of expected
it
that.
doesn't even cover half the book in 2.5 hours.
Fuck.
No,
shit, that's right.
that's
Yeah,
not.
this
That's
is
not a bad
this
thing.
is just
This
book
is
one.
part 1. Yeah, it says it right at the
yeah.
start. Dune part
Dune.
one. So, it makes a point of that. It doesn't say June, so they're obviously hoping to get part 2. Apparently, it's not far away from getting greenlit.
I think they're obviously just wanting to see what the returns are in this first. No.
Yes, yeah, and that's going to be affected by the fact it's on HBO in the States as well as cinemas. Yeah, it's one of the HBO.
Halloween's the same. Halloween's on
Peacock,
and it's had a really strong opening.
Mm-hmm. I think people will go to cinema to see it. I really do. I think it's one of these movies.
I just did not enjoy the last one at all.
I really enjoyed the last one. It was very well done. Have you seen the other sequels, maybe?
No.
Why did you ask that? Why did you ask it? You knew the answer.
I know.
Maybe if you've watched Halloween 6, you have a new appreciation for
life.
Halloween.
I was going to say for other films. Yeah.
Although Halloween 6 is most notable for a young Paul Rudd in his first role, his first film.
Nice.
But it's his first starring role, maybe.
It's one of his very first, isn't it? Really?
I don't think it
And does he still look the same as he does now?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Sickeningly, he does. Yes.
Yeah.
And then there's Halloween with Busta Rhymes.
What?
Yeah.
Seemingly though, that last duel's performing really badly. So I think it cost like 100 something to make, and it's only taken 4 million at the box office.
It's really good as well.
Is it?
It's
I honestly think it's down to poor marketing, because I've not heard it. Like I've not seen a single thing about it.
It's not been very well marketed, and because it came out 2 weeks after Bond, it's getting shown like maybe once or twice a day, and like even like the big Cineworld in Glasgow. You know, Bond's getting shown in maybe 14, 15 screens, and it's getting shown 2 times, and you're thinking, well, it's never going to do any decent business. No, it's really good.
I do fancy
really
it. Like
story,
I did think it looked good. Not just for obviously Adam Driver and Chainmail, but I did think it actually looked like decent. So
I hadn't read anything about it before I went in to see it, and when I started watching it, I thought, this doesn't seem quite right. There's something wrong here, but then it kind of explains things for me a wee bit better. I'm not going to even talk about anything to do with it in case you haven't read anything about it. Just to
I haven't. No.
Enjoy it. Well, don't. I just watch it then, and we'll talk about it afterwards, because it's definitely worth a discussion. Aye.
Yeah, I mean, I did see the trailer and obviously think it looked good. I think, Ridley Scott, he's got that, and he's got House of Gucci coming out. That guy is busy.
That looks quite interesting, that.
Oh, I'm dying to see that. That looks like all my camp dreams come true.
And then his Napoleon drama's coming out after that.
Who's in that?
Jodie Comer is in that again. I can't
She's
remember who's
like-
playing Napoleon.
Do you not think she's come from like nowhere and all of a sudden she's absolutely everywhere?
It's because of
Killing
Killing
Eve.
Eve.
Yeah.
And it's taken this long from Killing Eve for our sort of film career to sort of pick up, because if you think about it, I think like Free Guy would have been out last year.
Yeah.
And, The
Yeah,
Last Duel
that's
would have been
true.
out this year, so
I suppose, we can look at it that way. But she is really good.
yeah, so
She's
it's probably
Stephen
good to do
Graham's
that.
Yeah.
Yep, it's true, yeah. They had it,
I
there was a
haven't
film
seen-
out, there's a TV movie, wasn't there? But then it's a
Yeah, I
trailer
didn't
or
see
something
it.
like that.
I
But it
couldn't
looked
bring myself
brutal.
to watch it. Yeah, it looked really grim, and I thought,
Ye-
do you know what? It's one thing watching the news. I don't think I could actually put myself through a pandemic drama at this particular moment in time. It's just too much emotionally.
I was watching clips of it on Gogglebox, and somebody went and said, "Why? She's got a really good Scouse accent." And I said, "Yeah, she's Liverpool."
That just reminds me of our Candyman pod when we were like, Candyman? I can't do it. I won't take that
It's
out. Take that out.
Joaquin Phoenix is Napoleon.
Is he not like a foot too tall? Napoleon was
I think he's
my
a, I
height,
think
was
he's
he
a wee,
not?
no, I think he's a wee guy. No, Napoleon was small.
Yeah, he's like 5 foot, like 2 or 3. He was Napoleon.
Yeah.
So
I don't think
is-
Mr. Phoenix is that much taller.
really?
He's definitely.
I thought he was like
Well, if you
6
think
foot.
about it, he's smaller than Russell Crowe, because he was smaller than Russell Crowe
yeah.
in Gladiator, and I don't think Russell's the biggest.
And do you know what? He can't be, because I think Russell Crowe was sort of on a par with Hugh Jackman and Les Mis, like sort of height wise. So actually, no, he can't be that big. Well, I always thought Joaquin Phoenix was like 6 foot tall. I don't know why.
Just googling it now.
Do any of you guys watch Succession? Just before we go.
No, yet. No, I've recorded
Not
it.
seen
I've not watched the new one yet.
He's 5'8".
Oh, okay.
So
So
yeah,
he's the same height. That's funny, because I always tell Chris he looks like if Joaquin Phoenix and Liev Schreiber made a baby, and I think they're both 5'8", and he's 5'8" as well. So he's like perfect. So you haven't watched season 3, episode 1 yet?
Not
No.
yet. No.
I'm not going
Let
to
me know
wait
the
too
min-
long to watch it. Yeah,
I was
Yeah,
going to say,
me
let
neither.
me know
hopefully
the
going to
minute
watch
you
it tonight.
have.
Actually, yeah.
It's so good. I
Yeah,
can't
I'm
say
going to watch
anything
it
else.
tonight.
I've decided
watch
that
it
Greg's my spirit animal. It's just- that would 100% be me, and amongst all these like ogres, I'd just be like, have you guys seen Twitter? Brilliant. Please let me know when you've watched it. It's so good.
I shall indeed.
Cool.
Do you know there are
I-
whole sites dedicated to what height actors are in comparison to each other and all that sort of stuff? It's bizarre.
I like to look
Yeah,
up
I
who's the
know.
same height as me, just so I know.
Tom Cruise has been trying to get them shut down for years.
No, I always like to go on and see like what celebrities I'm taller than, which, let's be honest, is not that many, and what celebrities I'm the same height as, because my short people unite.
Yeah, it's mostly like animals and things, I would imagine them to be.
We've got famous person
Like
about the same
Lassie and
size
stuff
as
like that, yeah.
Stuart Little,
Oh no,
Peter Dinklage.
I am 2 inches tall. I mean, she's dead, but I'm 2.5 inches taller than Judy Garland. Just about it. That's about as exciting as it gets. Although one of my colleagues who met me for the first time face to face on a day in the office couldn't believe how short I was. They were like, "Oh, just when you talk, you just look really tall." So I don't know how, because they've only seen this much of me, but I must just have that aura.
You sound tall.
Aura
like
of
that.
tallness, yeah.
That's it. Small in stature, but not in presence.
Yeah, keep believing that, honey. Yeah.
I've got nothing going for me. I'm short. According to you guys, I'm ugly.
Oh no, we didn't say that. We
Sorry,
didn't
no.
mention the word.
Semi said that. Semi alluded to that. John, you dived in, and we're total gentlemen.
I must admit, the photograph that you posted with your hairdo was really nice. It's just the last one when you got your hair done, the black and white photo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh god,
I think I even
you should
commented
have
on
you
that.
should have seen me on Saturday, guys. I had my wedding hair and makeup trial, and even I didn't recognise myself. I was like, she's quite good looking.
You must have been so tempted to take a black and white picture of that and put it in the chat and just say,
Oh,
fuck you haters.
I did take pictures. I just obviously didn't want to spoil
Yeah.
the surprise. But honestly, I burst out crying. I was just like, oh, I feel like a bride now. This is so lovely. So I'm very excited.
Excellent.
Nice. Good stuff.
Is it feeling real?
It's feeling terrifying, because we're now at like 5 months to go, and the invoices are starting to, you owe us money for this, and this. So
No,
I
you
think
shit.
I just-
I
yeah.
forgot actually all these people money.
yeah, man. And the thing is, like, you'll go and do something, then you're like, oh shit, that now incurs like 3 other tasks that you need to go and do as a result of like one thing. So it's becoming a bit manic and a bit real, but also very exciting. So just
Excellent.
hoping
Good.
that we can get through winter without any lockdowns and that my sanity will be fully intact.
Yes.